As you said, my name is Major Aaron Crowell. I'm the commander of the Criminal Interdiction Division, which here at Louisville Metro is our narcotics, gangs, violent crime, firearms, intelligence. We cover a wide variety, but our bottom line is to address violent crime in all its fashions and anything that feeds violent crime in Louisville. We've had a great year. We're up across the board in our categories. And the numbers I'm going to talk about today, just to preface it, are for Criminal Interdiction Division, not the department as a whole. There's a lot of great work going on with the patrol divisions and other specialized units. This is just my particular division, which all we do is guns and dope and gang members. But we'll talk about that today. Across the board, we're up almost, in some categories, 200%, on average 100% from last year with our seizures, our arrests, our illegal firearms confiscated. That's in large part due to the exceptional partnerships we've had with our federal agencies, ATF, DEA, FBI, Homeland Security. We've really optimized those relationships, and we're doing a much better job of funneling prosecutions through the federal court system to get the most bang for our buck. So we're very proud of those accomplishments. A little over a year ago, or almost 2 years ago now, we restructured CID with a more specific focus on violent crime. We're not just going after narcotics for the sake of narcotics. It's individuals who are driving violent crime in Louisville, and unfortunately narcotics and violent crime go hand in hand. So it's an avenue to pursue violent criminals through narcotics cases, firearms cases, and whatever standalone investigations we do for that purpose. Just for update, the numbers for this year so far, and we're still working. These will change and will go up before the end of the year. But where we're at current as of this past Friday, 447 felony arrests, 168 arrest warrants served, excuse me, $1,826,211 in currency seized, 345 illegal firearms, 64 of those were stolen, 156 of those were taken off convicted felons, and 33 of those were taken off of juveniles. We've seized 9,436 pounds of marijuana, 858 pounds of methamphetamine, 165 pounds of fentanyl, 18 pounds of heroin, and over 300,000 illegal pills. And a lot of those will be fentanyl pills, and a lot of these are pills that are pressed in someone's basement. These are not things that were ever intended to be sold or to be trafficked on the street through a legal means, but and a lot of the reasons why we're seeing a lot of the overdoses we're seeing is that people are manufacturing these pills in their homes, and a lot of times you don't know what you're getting. So I would really caution the public to be very careful, especially with pills. We're seeing, we have for the last several years, a substantial number of overdoses in opiate-related, opiates in particular, but pills as well, in particular, I'm sorry. And that's about all that. We have 83 federal indictments to date, which is about double what we average. And that's in large part due to our partnerships with the federal agencies. We're doing a much better job of including them on the front end. So we're building cases that are more appropriate for federal prosecution. They're involved with us from the get-go, and we're crafting more effective prosecutions that are more appropriate for federal prosecution. So that's a huge, that's a game changer here in Louisville, and I think a big reason why we're down in so many categories in violent crime.
Now, would you, in this uptick in seizures and stuff, would you credit, more stuff coming in, or do you think that stuff's staying the same and you guys are just working harder and using more resources to bust more people?
Sure, certain things are definitely increased. Fentanyl is, over the last 2 years, it's been a year by year, massive increase each year. So there's more of fentanyl, but overall seizures, I think it's more to the direction and the focus and the intelligence-based policing that we're doing. Chief Shields has been very clear when she came in and asked me to take over CID that we're not just kicking doors for the sake of kicking doors. We're not making traffic stops trying to get traffic stops. We are focused on the violent criminals in the city who are preying on our citizenry. And because we're doing a better job of focusing on the right people and being more selective, that's actually generating more in the way of seizures, because it's a more robust investigation rather than one-hitters that we're going out one day, getting one, and then one next day we're going to see what else we can do. We're putting long-term investigations together that are more encompassing, so we're getting more money, more narcotics, more firearms, and better cases out of it.
So your numbers are up and it have improved, but it looked like for the department as a whole, just looking at the weekly crime report that in terms of firearms seized and narcotics arrests, those numbers are pretty much on trend with last year. So can you kind of talk about how you guys are improving, but the department as a whole is kind of similar to last year?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I don't have a basis for that. I don't know the big picture of how those numbers are playing out. I can just speak for my division, that where we're focused. I know that patrol divisions are also focused on firearms. What would be the reason for those numbers being similar to last year? We were in the same space last year as well. I think CID particularly is doing a better job of being more effective this year than we were last.
I know you mentioned 83 federal indictments.
Yes,
Are
ma'am.
those the same that Colonel Healy was just speaking about, the gang leaders?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had probably over a dozen cases with several members that are members of syndicates that were indicted in groups 6, 7, 8. I think one we had 14 different members that were all indicted together. So it's been huge.
Does that help you guys out having federal prosecutors take over the process, and that way you don't have to worry about, you know,
Well,
putting local resources into it? You know,
no, it's not really any difference in the local resources. My guys are involved in the process all the way through. We have the expertise that federal agents have in working a federal court system that we may not have. But I mean, the biggest benefit to us is that federal time is real time. When we put bad guys in jail, they stay in jail. And we haven't had that for several years here in the county or the state system. So we've been very fortunate to partner with them. And I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do unless there's consequences for it. So I mean, the more that we can provide those consequences, the more we have a lasting impact here in Louisville.
And I know you said you don't have a metric to go off of, but just thinking about the future, what do you think it'll take to get even more of these drugs off the streets? We know that overdoses have increased here and across the country, especially with fentanyl.
I mean, the key is consistency. We can't go changing our plan every other year. And, you know, we can always improve the plan. We can tweak it. We can do better. But we have to be consistent. And I think in Louisville, over the last 10 years, you've had periods of 4 or 5 different schools of thought on how we're going to go about this. And every time you do that, you restart that. And then you don't have the buy-in. You don't have the consistency from the officers. And we need a lot of support from our judicial partners. I mean, we need a functional juvenile justice system in Jefferson County. We need a county and a Commonwealth Attorney's Office that prosecutes cases. We need elected officials that support those crime trends or the initiatives. So I mean, consistency is what I would say is the biggest issue here.
And that said, how do you expect to deal with the upcoming change in the department head?
That's outside of my scope, ma'am. I'm a soldier. I do what I'm told. So.
Any other questions for the mayor? Thank you, sir.